Ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Biden has been charged with federal tax crimes. This is very interesting, and it's kind of hilarious in many ways because it's not about the fact he didn't pay taxes. It's about the pay-to-play schemes, the kickbacks, the possible felonies related to bribery, graft. How can you use your influence on the company's behalf is one of the emails in the New York Post. Okay, so this is pretty much an example. I mean, it's a sign of justice that Hunter is getting charged, but it's a complete farce that they're getting him on something that has nothing to do with the possible felonies that Joe Biden committed. Joe lied. Now, he didn't just lie about crowd size. Like they say, Trump lies so much. They can't find a lie as grandiose with Trump as Joe saying, well, I don't know anything about Hunter's business deals. There's a laptop where Joe is the big man. That's one of the quotes. And they are basically funneling money from people around the world, from corporations, from businesses, from like corporations or intel fronts, intelligence agencies that are using corporations to influence the U.S. government with money going to Hunter and Joe. If that's not a national security nightmare, I don't know what is. That's according to Chuck Grassley, Ted Cruz, the New York Post, the Daily Mail. Anyone who will actually, the New York Post deserves the Pulitzer Prize. Not the publications getting the Pulitzer Prizes now. But here, CNN, Hunter Biden pleads guilty to federal tax charges. Strikes deal on firearms charge. That's interesting. I love how it's you can't find, these are wonderful, morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats, the biggest, oftentimes are the biggest hypocrites on the planet. Okay? Here, so it's like, if you have laws banning, okay, we'll get to that in a second. Wall Street Journal, Hunter Biden to plead guilty to federal charges, resolves Second Amendment violation. Okay. It must be nice to have the Secret Service possibly help you out. Hunter agrees to plead guilty to federal tax charges. Okay, so the investigation is ongoing. Okay. Here's the issue. Hunter received taxable income of $1,500,000 annually from 2017-2018. The issue is the hundreds of millions of dollars going into corporations owned by Hunter from not because he's selling a product. They tried to go after Ivanka or Donald Trump. Like, these people sell products because they know how to run a business. This is access to the U.S. government and altering U.S. foreign policy. It's not difficult to understand. You alter U.S. If you're for example, Bill or Hillary, and I can't imagine Hillary Clinton not being the 24 nominee. Can't imagine them going with mashed potato brains for another 4 years. I think Hillary will be the nominee. You don't plunge the country into a McCarthy-era Red Scare environment and then just watch Trump get indicted on classified data. Complete nonsense. Clinton had servers siphoning top secret intel from secure government networks, which is impossible, secure government servers outside the U.S. government onto her servers running independent from the U.S. government. If Trump had that set up, they would say, oh my God, he was selling secrets for to finance hotels. But of course, it's a Democrat, so you could, God forbid, you're suspicious at all. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. This is huge, but it's not really it's huge, but it's part of an elaborate public relations stunt. They go after Trump on absurd, outlandish charges. They investigate Clinton, couldn't find intent. Then they ignore the actual felonies that Hunter and Joe likely committed. Okay, it has nothing to do with tax evasion, which, of course, that's a part of it. It would be the equivalent, well, They went after Al Capone on this, but that was the only way to I guess, put him in prison, because they couldn't find any evidence linking him to. The point is, they omit, or they ignore the actual national security nightmare, which is that people are giving money. Now, if you're a morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat who is just ignorant as to the grandiose felonies and corruption within your political party, infinitely more than anything they level at Trump. Because with Trump, they just create nonsense. It had 7 years, they couldn't get him. And then they get him in New York. That'll be overturned eventually by the Supreme Court. And then they get him in Florida, which will probably be a mistrial, definitely overturned by the Supreme Court. Jack Smith is like going to be 0-3. He lost the John Edwards case. He lost the Bob McDonnell case in Virginia. And he'll lose this one too. Okay? But with Trump, it's get Trump, public relations, disparage him, indict him a million times, impeach him a million times, and still the Democratic Party has to contend with almost half the electorate going to Trump. Okay, you're not going to get, there's never going to be another Republican that gets the popular vote again. Ever, ever, ever. You have all of media on one side, social media algorithms, ain't going to happen. But the fact that Trump can get almost half the electorate is pretty amazing. Okay? Pretty unbelievable. So they still can't really knock him out of contention at all. So that should tell you, if media was just objective, like Wolf Blitzer on CNN in 2000 with Bush v. Gore, CNN didn't care. Nobody cared. It was just they were just reporting. Go back to, if you remember, 2000, 23 years ago. Okay? There's even, you could buy the DVD on Bush v. Gore of CNN. Go back. And that was, people were on the edge of their seat, but it was completely apolitical. They didn't care. Oh, well. There were, people cared, but the media didn't care at all. The Time magazine ran a piece on Paul Ryan. I think that he was runner-up for Person of the Year, something like that. And they're like, oh, he works out. Oh, he's such a good person. Time magazine would never run that type of story with Trump or any Republican. DeSantis, Ted Cruz, even if Mitt Romney ran again, they would send him to The Hague for putting his dog on top of his car. That's the thing with the never Trump Republicans. You have the Lincoln Project people who are just useful, basically they're mercenaries working for the Democratic Party. These types of never Trump Republicans, they get love from the retweets. The second they're a political obstacle, all of their dirty laundry and skeletons even more of the skeletons and dirty laundry will come out of the closet. So it's like there's never going to be another time when you have a media that's just apolitical. That being said, this is it's so outlandish because this will actually only escalate, or this will expedite impeachment. Okay, Biden's going to get impeached, not because Hunter didn't pay his taxes, because Hunter and Joe were part of a graft and bribery, likely felony scheme. Well, if it's those two, then if it's those two charges or criminal acts, then of course these are felonies. It's a national security issue. National security is compromised by these Democrats who have servers running outside the United States government and take hundreds of millions of dollars from all different types of entities around the world, whether it's Bill and Hillary's foundation or Joe and Hunter's just pop-up businesses. Okay? Trump did not jeopardize national security because he doesn't need the money. They need the money. Okay? The business, this is Tammany Hall. You're talking about Tammany Hall versus somebody that just tweets mean things. We had record low poverty with Trump, by the way, also. And we had peace deals, and it was like a great, Trump was a great president. He didn't worship the system, this very corrupt system. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. Huge